To a student of this game, it becomes clear that the players are not a homogeneous mass. They fall into distinct and recurring categories, their fates determined not by their luck but by their mindset. Through a lifetime of observation of both his own mistakes and the mistakes of others, a master speculator like Jesse Livermore came to understand that the entire population of Wall Street could be classified into three great and immutable types. These are the three classes of men who are drawn to the allure of the market: the complete and utter sucker, the more intelligent and therefore more dangerous semisucker, and the cool, patient, and scientific real speculator. The journey of any man who wishes to succeed in this business is the difficult and often painful evolution from the first two classes into the third. This is an analysis of that evolution. It is a clinical dissection of these three psychological archetypes, a field guide to the human element that is the true and final determinant of success or failure in the market. To understand these types is to understand the game itself. The principles and the stark observations that follow are not theories, but the hard-won truths of a man who paid for his education with millions of his own dollars. They are the core of the philosophy that was so brilliantly chronicled by Edwin Lefèvre. A link to his essential work, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, can be found in the description below this video. It remains the single most important text for any individual who is serious about understanding the mind of a professional. Also in the description is a link for those who find this work of value and wish to support the continued creation of these in-depth analyses through a donation or tip. Your support is what makes these extensive studies possible, and it is greatly appreciated. Let us begin with the first and most numerous of these types, the man who forms the very bedrock of the market ecosystem, the man whose capital provides the sustenance for the professionals. This is the first-grade or garden variety sucker. The defining characteristic of the sucker is his unshakable belief in the existence of easy money. He comes to the market not as a student of a difficult profession, but as a treasure hunter, believing that Wall Street is a place where fortunes can be had for the asking, with little to no mental effort. He is therefore intellectually lazy. The hard work of studying the market, of analyzing trends, of forming his own reasoned judgment, is utterly foreign to him. He is not looking for a method. He is looking for a shortcut. This intellectual laziness leads him directly to his most fatal and enduring weakness, his insatiable appetite for tips. The sucker is a perpetual and hopeful consumer of other people's opinions. He craves to be told what to do. He listens to the broker, to the man in the customer's room, to the anonymous voice on the other end of the telephone. He reads the market letters and the financial columns not for information, but for definite, concrete recommendations. The words, "buy this," or "sell that," are the sweetest music to his ears. He does not stop to ask the most logical of all questions. If this tip is so valuable, why is this man giving it away to me? His greed and his hope are so powerful that they completely overwhelm his faculty for reason. He acts on a tip, and if it is successful, he feels like a genius. He does not see that his success was a matter of blind luck. He confuses a bull market with his own intelligence. This initial, unearned success is the most dangerous thing that can happen to him, for it emboldens him to bet even bigger on the next tip. And when the tip inevitably fails, as all tips must, he does not blame himself. He blames the source of the tip. He blames bad luck. He blames the manipulators. He blames everyone and everything except his own foolishness for acting on another man's unverified opinion. Because he does not accept responsibility for his failure, he is incapable of learning from it. This is the second great mark of the sucker, his endless repetition of the same mistakes. He will be wiped out by following a bad tip in one market, and then, a few months later, he will do the exact same thing in another. His mind is a blank slate upon which experience makes no lasting impression. He does not keep a record of his trades. He does not perform an autopsy on his losses. He simply moves from one hopeful bet to the next. His actions govern not by a system, but by the raw, primitive emotions of greed and hope. The sucker is a creature of the moment. He has no long-term perspective, no understanding of the great primary trends of the market. He is obsessed with the daily wiggles, the minor fluctuations, and he is constantly trying to scalp a small, quick profit. He buys at the top of a move when the excitement is at its peak and the good news is on the front pages of the newspapers. He is drawn to the flame of market excitement like a moth. He sells in a panic at the very bottom when the fear is most intense. His entire emotional response to the market is perfectly calibrated to ensure that he buys at the highest possible price and sells at the lowest. He is a man who is perpetually out of sync with the market's true rhythm. He is the man who provides the market for the professional's distribution at the top of a bull move. And he is the man who, in his panicked selling, provides the cheap stock for the professional to accumulate at the bottom of a bear move. The sucker's fate is sealed from the moment he enters the game with his flawed mindset. He is the raw material, the willing and ever-present victim upon whom the entire edifice of Wall Street is built. His money is the great flowing river that eventually finds its way into the reservoirs of the professional. Now we come to the second, and in many ways, more interesting and tragic figure in this taxonomy. This is the second-grade speculator, the man who has advanced beyond the level of the pure sucker. This is the semisucker. The semisucker is a man who knows that he should not be a sucker. He has done some reading. He may have even studied the methods of the great operators of the past. He understands on an intellectual level that one should not take tips, that one should cut losses, and that one should follow the trend. He is, in short, a man who knows just enough to be profoundly dangerous to himself. His great fatal flaw is his ego. His small amount of theoretical knowledge gives him a powerful and unwarranted sense of overconfidence. He believes he is smarter than the other amateurs, and perhaps even smarter than the market itself. The pure sucker knows on some level that he is gambling. The semi-sucker believes with all his heart that he is speculating scientifically. This is what makes his downfall so certain and so devastating. He will create a set of sound, logical rules for his trading. He will write them down. He will swear a solemn oath to follow them. And then, at the first touch of real market pressure, at the first sting of a loss, his entire intellectual edifice will crumble into dust. His emotions, which he believed he had conquered through study, will rise up and take complete and total command of his actions. He knows he should cut a loss, but his ego cannot bear to be proven wrong. He holds on. He knows with absolute intellectual certainty that he should never average a loss. But the stock goes down, and the temptation to make back his money by buying more at a cheaper price becomes irresistible. He violates his own most sacred rule. He knows he should have the patience to sit with a winning trade, to ride the big swing. But the fear of his profit evaporating is a physical, gnawing thing. He snatches his small gain and then watches in agony as the stock continues on a great and profitable advance without him. The semi-sucker is, in many ways, in a more dangerous position than the pure sucker. Because of his overconfidence, he will often trade on a much larger scale. When he is right, he makes a respectable sum. But when he is wrong and his emotions take over, his losses are catastrophic. He is a man at war with himself. His intellect is in a constant and losing battle with his emotions. He knows what he ought to do, but he cannot summon the character and the discipline to do it. It is at this stage the painful realization that knowledge is not enough, that a man's career as a speculator is truly made or broken. The losses of the semi-sucker are the most educational of all, for they teach the one, final, profound lesson of the market. It is for this reason that a constant return to first principles is not a luxury, but a necessity for survival. A return to this channel, to this video, and others like it, especially after a series of unsuccessful trades, serves as a vital recalibration of the professional mindset. It is a hospital for the trader's wounded mind. The semi-sucker stands at a great crossroads. He can either conclude that the game is rigged and quit in disgust, forever blaming the market for his failures. Or he can look inward. He can finally understand that the great enemy is not the market, but himself. If he chooses this second, more difficult path, he has the chance to graduate. He has the chance to begin the long and arduous work of forging a new character, of building the emotional discipline that is the one, true, and final key to the game. He has the chance to become a real speculator. This brings us to the third and final type, the professional, the master of the game. This man is a different breed entirely. He is not a gambler, nor is he a man of half-baked theories. He is a scientist of the market, a man who has replaced emotion with a set of cold, hard, and proven principles. The first and most defining characteristic of the real speculator is his absolute intellectual independence. He relies on one thing and one thing only, his own personal, continuous, and unemotional study of the ticker tape. He has no need for tips, for he knows they are for fools. He has no interest in the opinions of others, in the gossip of the boardroom or the pronouncements of the newspaper columnists. He knows that the tape contains all the information that is needed. It is the final and only truth. He does not trade on what a stock should do based on its fundamentals. He trades on what it is doing based on the evidence of its own price and volume action. He does not argue with the tape. He obeys it. The second characteristic of the real speculator is that he operates according to a definite, coherent, and well-thought-out system. His actions are not the result of sudden impulses or emotional spasms. They are the systematic execution of a strategic plan. He knows, before he ever enters a trade, exactly where he will exit if it goes against him. He has a formula for his stop-loss. He has a method for his entries, waiting patiently for the one, true signal of the pivotal point. He has a scientific strategy for sizing his positions, for pyramiding his successes. His trading is not an adventure, it is a business, and he runs it according to the sound and proven principles of that business. He leaves nothing to chance. This leads to the third and most important characteristic of the real speculator. It is the one quality that makes all the others possible. It is his complete and total mastery of himself. He has, through a long and often painful process of self-discipline, conquered the great elemental human emotions of hope, fear, and greed. His mind, when he is engaged in the market, is a clear, cold, and precise instrument, like the scalpel of a surgeon. He has learned that hope is the greatest liability of a man with a losing position. He has learned that fear is the greatest enemy of a man with a winning one. And he has learned that greed, the desire for the quick and easy profit, is the siren song that leads to the rocks of ruin. He has replaced these emotions with their professional counterparts. He has replaced hope with the evidence of the tape. He has replaced fear with the calm courage of a sound plan. And he has replaced greed with the supreme and difficult virtue of patience. The real speculator understands that the great battle is not against the market, but against the foolish, hopeful, fearful, and greedy man that lives inside of himself. To win the game on Wall Street, he must first win the war within. His success, therefore, is not a matter of luck. It is the inevitable and predictable result of his discipline, his patience, and his profound and unwavering respect for the game and for his own human fallibility. He is not a genius in the conventional sense. He is a professional who has, through a lifetime of dedicated study and ruthless self-analysis, mastered the fundamental principles of his chosen craft. This is the final and highest grade of the speculative art.